Yeah. Should be recording. This is the stuff that people want to see. All right, so as always, these guys are just loose, goofing off. We're going to slow them down now. I'm going to start with actually Betty. Betty, come here. Place. Good. Down. Good girl. Shh. What's up, man? We will do Brody. Brody, come here, buddy. Oh, that was pretty solid, man. Place. Down. Attaboy. Bolts, you're placed. So cool. Place. Down. Good boy. Maxwell. Come on. Place. Down. Good boy. Oh, shoot. I am going to... Digby. Come here. I am going to double up. Place. Down. Yeah. Bolt. Come here, buddy. Place. Good boy. You're higher up. Like a French king. Samson, bench. Samson's the special one. He has bench. I don't know if everyone's place. He's bench. Down. Okay. First off, super sorry. I know it's been a while. We've skipped a couple weeks. We've had a lot of new things, different changes happening, new trainers that we're training, a lot of traveling, seminars, all that good stuff. And as much as I want to do this every single time, it's just I've looked at Andrew and I've been like, yo, we got to do this. Oh, man, we can't do it today. So sorry, but we're back in action. Took a little hiatus. Hopefully the show's going to be better and better than ever. We do have some questions. A lot of them are scattered around, so I'm going to do my best to answer the last Ask Your Question Here post that we had. And then from there, I'll post another so we can get this back into action and going every week the way that we used to. So, on this episode, we're going to be covering, no, I guess we kind of skipped all that. We're kind of lost a little bit of our routine and how to go about it. So I will go ahead and just kind of sum things up. We do have some questions. On this episode, we're going to be playing catch up because I haven't even read the questions and I don't even know what we're answering. And now we will go to the intro. Do it. What's up, guys? This is Blake Rodriguez, and this is episode... Nope, down. What episode is this?
I think maybe
15. It's 14 or 15 of Dog Behavior Question Tuesday. I think it is 15, yeah. We are going to play catch-up. The first question is going to be from DctK9's. First off, I appreciate your engagement. I see you liking everything. I see you commenting. I love it. I'm glad that this is helpful. So before I even read what you have to say, thank you. I do notice that. We notice that for sure. It means a lot. So we'll get right into this. Hi, Blake. Firstly, I have to say that you guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. I have a Roddy pup, 9 months old, and he's doing great with dogs, cats, bunnies, and so on. But I really want to change, but what I really want to change with him is his interest in other dogs while he's on the walk. I live in Sweden. And they have the best goalie on the planet, Henrik Lundqvist, by the way. I don't know if he's Swedish, New York Rangers, but let me get back into this. I live in Sweden. You find that funny? So she's laughing. So Jen's one of our new trainers. She's still in training. This is her first time watching a DBQ episode Tuesday, so she's over there laughing because she's seeing how this is going about things, or how we go about things. I live in Sweden, and we are not allowed to use prong collars or remote collars. Such a shame, by the way. He's getting better at ignoring dogs on the walk. Now he only looks at them and turns his ears. Digby, down. Only looks at them and turns his ears toward the dogs, but he stays at my side without pulling. But I want him to ignore the dogs totally. How do I get to that point? The same with people. I want him to focus on me, even with other people distracting him, talking to him, so on and so forth. Sorry for the long question. and then it kind of goes into some other stuff. You went hard, Geektard. You asked a lot of questions here. Oh yeah, and another more serious issue is that he chases leaves, lunges, and the same with balls and kids that are playing and the ball comes in front or near him. He's really obedient, otherwise he has great respect and so on with food, place commands, walks, lovely on, I'm reading a novel, lovely on a leash and so on, but leaves and balls. I just can't get him to relax by those things without distracting him with a toy or food. I just want him to ignore, I guess, these things. Okay. Just catch my breath after reading that because I struggle to read. I'm not the strongest reader, as you can see. I'm like Floyd Mayweather. Let me see. All right, it is tougher because you don't have those tools, and basically, it's not impossible. The reality is, I don't need a prong collar, and I don't need a slip. I mean, I prefer maybe a slip lead. I don't need a prong collar. I don't need a remote collar, but those tools are like the reins for a horse when you're going horseback riding, or power steering for your car, which every car has, even though you can drive without it. What you need to focus more on, I would say, is doing proximity work, meaning when those distractions are going down, instead of waiting for them to happen when the ball comes rolling in front of you, instead of those things happening right in front of you, practice getting your dog softer on leash. Practice focusing on where the head is, not necessarily the body. So I'm gonna stand up for a second, Andrew. When I'm talking about the head, and this is something that I realize is kind of a missing link, a lot of times a dog can be walking at your side, and I'm not correcting or concerned with them looking, I'm concerned with how they're looking, and I think that's the biggest thing. If a dog is walking and just kind of glancing and looking around, no big deal. But if they're walking with you physically, but mentally the brain is here, that's what I'm more focused on. So I don't even care that the dog is walking for me. I want to create this with the leash. If I can create, say I'm facing this way, if I can create this with the leash, and I notice how I give it back when I get the dog in position, this right here, that's what I want. So that if the body is facing physically this way, which you already have an advantage, you have a dog that's walking with you, you really only have to address the head. You want to get the head where it needs to be and shut pressure off. If that's a struggle and you can't do that moving forward, you need to actually practice walking away, not to avoid. We're not trying to avoid, but what you want to do is get the dog to realize that they can focus on something else, even if that means your momentum, especially your momentum, is going in the opposite direction. Because now you have a dog that wants to do this and is either going to listen to you, making it easier, or you're going to get a dog that's going to flat out give you the middle finger. And as you're trying to do this, basically put his butt toward pressure. If you're starting to see that, that's when we have to realize that the leash pressure has to be ahead of the dog and well-timed to actually turn him. Let me make sure I'm still recording here. To actually turn him before he has enough time to do this. So I am still recording. I'm going to show you this right now. So we're talking about a slip lead, right? Show you. Maxwell. Hey. Down. Down. Maxwell, here. So when we have Maxwell, if he's focusing, this might be crazy that I'm doing this, but with all these dogs here, if he's focusing, these are freeze-dried liver treats, and he knows this is here and that's a distraction. If I'm trying to walk this way, come on. If I'm trying to walk this way and he's focused on that, which he doesn't seem to be right now, let me see if I can like really change this up. I know. What's up? Yeah, we'll do a tug toy. I just don't want to amp up the other guys too much and embarrass myself. I'm giving advice and all of a sudden these guys are, all right. So now we have this. I'm actually going to get him a little bit wound up and driven up. Sit. Yes. Nope. Place. So this is actually really, really good training. Down. Good. Maxwell. Yes. Good boy. Worry about the camera? I got those guys. Oh, is it? Okay. So we have this guy messing around. Max, goofing off. House. So when he's in the mode, and he's into this, and all of a sudden we have Andrew messing around with this, and I'm gonna let him get a little bit amped for it. All right, so before I go close, now what I'm doing is I'm in a position where if I need him to focus this way. Notice when the pressure comes off, right? It's really getting to the point where if this is too close for you, you're not trying to, hey, place. You're not trying, you see, this is a challenge for all these guys. Down. Soko, place. You're not trying to walk him to the thing and then turn him around and pull back. You need to be aware of where your leash pressure is. If your leash pressure is back this way, your timing is off. If his head is turning this way, and as it's turning this way, you're pulling back this way, it doesn't make sense. You need to pull this way to show him what to do. So you need to start being very, very aware of where your leash pressure is going and how clear it actually is. Because when you're working at a disadvantage, you're working on driving a car without power steering, it can totally be done. Like I love slip leads. I just understand the value of using these tools and making it easier for our clients who don't train dogs every day, all hours of the day like we do, right? So you need to really, really understand, okay, if you want your dog's head to turn this way, your leash pressure shouldn't be coming up this way. Your leash pressure shouldn't be going back this way. You want to essentially guide the dog, which means that you need to make choices much, much earlier, and your timing, the direction of the leash, if it's down, whether it's high, all of those things, you have to think, okay, if this thing was on me, would I understand if it was going up that I actually mean to go this way? The leash should be going that way then, right? If the dog is doing that and you want him to chill out, I mean, it's things that you got to think. You have to be very, very aware of what your leash pressure is doing, and then you won't have a knucklehead going crazy and acting inappropriate. But going back to the proximity work, if that's a challenge, start where you find a basketball court and the kids are playing and you're not on the court. You're all the way over here and you're just working on making wide U-turns, getting the dog to follow. If I want this guy to come back this way, I'm not gonna pull the leash this way. The reason being, he cannot turn this way. What he can do is he can go left or he can go right. So if I want him to go left and send him back to place, look where my body is, here. Because this is how I can control his head, which actually controls what his body does. So now, let's go. I apply a little bit of leash pressure and it's actually very easy for him to understand what I want. Maxwell, place. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I could take the leash off or on, doesn't really matter. It's not about the leash at this point. So that would be my advice for you. And to be honest, it's all the same thing. If you're struggling for all that other stuff, leaves are the same thing. You know, and that's a little bit harder when you have leaves everywhere, but you need to get your dog focused on what you're doing. So don't worry about, or don't have your dog sit and watch it. Don't have your dog sit and wait for it to go by. Don't have your dog come to you, and if I'm the chair, come back to you after focusing on the camera, it's distraction, and then end up doing this and sitting and waiting. That's a waste of time. So use your momentum to help the dog say, don't do that, do this instead, and you should be much, much more successful. What's up, Linz? Hey. So let's see where we are. Andrea, I might need to use your phone because I put this on airplane mode and it doesn't have, and it's not popping up, the questions. So give us a second here. For any questions that I didn't get to that was scattered throughout the random posts, every either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, we're going to be posting a post on Instagram. This is how you get your answers question on this show. On Instagram, you'll see, it will say, ask your question here, right? It's a specific post where we read from those, and it's only on Instagram. So I know I've helped, unless we're doing a video inquiry and we're telling you to send your videos like via Facebook Messenger. I know people ask via email, through Facebook, through all these things. We really want to focus just on that one direct post. So I'm not deliberately ignoring you. It's just we get a lot of questions from everywhere, and if we keep it to one place, I can answer them because I see them here. Looking around and stuff, the show just goes on for too long. So that answers GctK9's. High five for K9's. I love your recent video on the follow-up with your Connecticut client. It's awesome that you saw that. Seeing Soko in action with his prey drive, but obedience to you was superb. I know you use leash pressure and remote collar conditioning. Do you have any other tips to include for teaching such a reliable recall? Yeah, food. Absolutely use food. Now this is the very big difference, something that for me is a very big deal when we are using food. And I've said this before on other episodes, we bust out food to reward good behavior. We don't bust out food in order to get good behavior, right? That's a very, very big deal. In the beginning, I might use it to shape up what I want, but this is the thing when we're talking about food. Very rarely are we using dog treats. Unless I'm calling a dog off or something, I'm using something of higher value, very rarely are we doing that. We're actually working the dog for their actual kibble. So when we say that we're working a dog, it doesn't mean having a food bowl there and having a dog sit for 2 seconds, and because he's physically sitting, like that's it, right? That's not what we're talking about. We actually work the dog for their food, get them solid with the markers. So I think it was episode 9, Andrew was introducing those markers with Samson. We were outside or something. 3 markers that we use, good, yes, and nope. Right? I'll sum this up again, very, very important. Good means keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a fantastic job. I want you to keep it up. Don't stop. You're one step closer to getting your yes. Yes is your terminal command or your terminate command. That's when you're free to do as you please. We pay on yes, meaning when I yes this dog, he comes and he takes the food. You don't have to answer that. That's all right. He comes and he takes the food from my hand. I want him to be rude. I want him to know that he has permission to take it from me, not me give it to him, right? On good, if it's new, I can walk over and give it to him. If my dog is holding it down and I say good and I walk over, as I'm walking over, he cannot get up to take it. I would say nope, he would down, and that would be that, right? The nope basically means stop doing what you're about to do and go back to doing what you were doing. And then the yes, I think I just explained that, right? On yes, you're finished, come get your paycheck, you're technically free, but in order to shape that, I always feed when you come to take the food. If you get your dog solid on markers and you pair them with commands, it helps to create a lot of clarity, and that clarity can reduce stress, can help to teach a dog to learn quicker and keep them motivated to want to keep doing that. So I would tie in food and I would tie in using your markers, and that should make a huge, huge difference because you'll start to see a more enthusiastic dog and how you're teaching things versus a dog that's being forced. And here, I can just do this. You see a different type of dog, right? So for me, that actually matters, the type of dog that I see, a dog that's having fun, and that's what I would suggest for you. We're gonna get personal here. In case Andrew loses his phone and you find it, this is his passcode. What's your passcode? He doesn't want to say it. No one's gonna. 052791. 05. 0725, wait. 052791. I'm already in. 052791. 8675309. Okay. Katala. Hi, Blake. I just found you and love your work. Awesome, thank you. I'm sure I'll have a million questions, but I'll pace myself. I foster puppies for a rescue. I may only have them overnight, but some I have longer. Days, weeks, and this latest for a month with no interest in her. Yeah, that happens. I gotta tell you, that's one of the reasons I'm not in rescue, because it's too tough to try to do the right thing emotionally. You get caught up. That's a hard gig, and I commend you for that. She was returned from her adoptive placement as the kids couldn't get past their fear of her. I work on housebreaking, basic obedience, socializing them to make them more marketable to adopters. Wonderful. As a trainer, what commands do you think I should focus on in the limited time that I have with them? This is actually a great question. And is it better to just have them do a few commands solid, or have the foundation of more commands? What commands do your clients wish their dog had come with already installed? Okay, cool. So based on your limited amount of time, depending on the time that you have, the first thing that I'm trying to accomplish is a calm dog. Most people don't want a high drive working obedience dog. That comes later when you know how to control that. So the first thing, dogs need to be able to do this. These are the same dogs that even when there's a dog coming around, for the ones that see it, doesn't mean anything, right? So dogs must be able to do this. Dogs must be able to chill. Dogs get returned and they're not adoptable probably 8 out of 10 times, if not 7 out of 10 times, simply because they're too much to deal with. and it's not even a bad dog, it's just all over the place, it's too much. So you teach a dog how to chill. That would be priority in my opinion. Get a dog solid on leash pressure. Those should be even before commands. Understanding how to use the leash, understanding how to maybe sit and down, but how to relax and hold a place before anything. If you want to start getting into other stuff and training them, working them for their food, use those markers. And then there's really only 5 commands that we teach our dogs, even for the dogs that stay here for like 3 or 5 weeks for our board and train. Our 5-week is our most popular program, right? So the commands are, so there's a difference between commands and markers. Markers are good yes and nope. Commands are sit, down, place, here, and let's go. All right, and then depending, there's like out, which is kind of like our leave it command, and you can work on that for a couple things. There might be a heel or a close, but usually those are the 5 priorities that we teach. Here is a very specific, you come in and you sit here. Let's go is, I don't care if you come toward me, just come in my direction as I'm walking this way. So that would be my advice for you. Keep it simple, state of mind work priority over everything. Using the tools give relevance to that before even teaching commands, right? Hey Blake, you speak a lot about relevance, we were just talking about that, and being relevant in the eyes of your dog. I know this is probably super effective in training. I assume you mean your dog respects you, cannot thrive without you, and you won't take shit basically. That's what you're saying here. Can you give me, sorry mom, grandma, grandpa, I know you guys watch this. Can you give me a better explanation on what you mean and any tips on this? Okay, first thing, when I'm saying this relevant-wise, I've said this before, I want to be the clock and I want my dogs looking at me to see what time it is. I don't want to be a dictator. I'm not looking to be Pablo Escobar. Narcos is a great show, but I don't want to be that type of individual. I want them to know when things go down, it's in your best interest to pay attention to me and not the bombs that are dropping around us, right? And some of the ways that we do that is, and this ties into the whole, and trainers hate when I say this, it does not matter whether you allow your dog on the bed, on the couch, on the counter, all those things, but it makes your job a hell of a lot more difficult if you're allowing those things because it's less of an opportunity for you to provide rules and actually give your dog a reason to listen to you. If they're not allowed on this, if they're not allowed to do that, if they're only allowed to do this when you say, and that's consistent in all aspects of your life, you become the person that they say, hey, what time it is, what should we be doing here? But if they're allowed to do as they want, as they please, and then you expect them to listen to in other situations, it's really difficult because now you have a dog that's like, hey, I'm able to do as I please because I'm good, I'm pretty well behaved in the house. You don't challenge me at all in the house, and then you expect me to listen to you when we're in a dog park and it's time to leave or when you really need it. That's hard. So I want to set myself up as a captain, as a leader figure, as an authority figure, not necessarily a dictator, where when shit goes down, like when it actually goes down, you have dogs that go, we gotta look to you, okay, like what are we doing right now? Because they're already used to it, right? They actually prefer to say, hey, how are we gonna get through this, right? Versus, oh man, this person doesn't tell me what to do and now this is happening, now I have to focus. I have to do what I normally do because I normally do what I want to anyway. So that's more along the lines of being relevant. And one of the best ways to do that is give your dog more rules in areas where they don't necessarily need it, and you'll be all set when the time comes that you actually do need it because your dog's expecting that, right? What's your code again? 052791. He's so mad right now.
It's my birthday.
Oh, okay. Okay, and then last but not least, and this is we'll keep it sweet and simple, from Elliot. Elliot sent Lincoln, the American Bulldog, over to us for a board and train. She's in rescue, and recently Duchess, little Duchess, who was also featured on a DBQ Tuesday question. So, hi Blake, my Bernese Mountain Dog, Ember, was born with severe hip dysplasia, and my question is actually simply about sit. It took me a long time to teach her sit due to poor muscle tone when I adopted her, and she still defaults to down much more comfortably, nothing wrong with that. Although she now knows sit, she does not sit square. Okay, so like properly, I guess. This poses an issue when I call her here, and she has and she has to back up or fall far back on her haunches to sit instead of tucking under and sitting squarely at my side or in front of you. Instead, she ends up about a foot behind me. Any advice to help retrain this and build muscle memory as well would be greatly appreciated. Yeah. Okay, so there are a couple things that you can do if you want a dog. If you want a dog to kind of sit by your side, move this over for a second. If you want a dog to sit by your side, you can really shape a nice heel. And if a dog is ahead of you, you can use a wall to help bring feed here, shape, and the dog only gets fed here because you know when they sit, they're gonna sit back and end up here. Because you're not doing like obedience competition and stuff, that's not my expertise, anything like that, it's not super important that a dog sits here. She might come and then sit back there. So what I would do is I would really work on feeding her. When you feed her, she comes in here, and when you pull up, you basically pull up like this so a dog knows that they have to eat this way. As far as getting a dog, if you're walking and you want the dog to sit, don't necessarily sit her back. That's the one dog that you actually want to pull forward, and you pull into a sit and she'll sit back that way. Don't be too super hard on her as long as she's not in pain. Just basically show her where to start and end, because she's starting in the right place, but because of her condition, she's backing up. So I would just get her a little bit more forward before I ask for the sit, right? And then you should be fine with that. And that pretty much sums it up for this episode. Oh, you want to know what? There's one more that I have to answer. Do this really, really quickly. I can't do it on here, sorry. It wasn't on Instagram, or it was on a specific comment, and I can only read it from mine. So it was in regards to Remy and Kevin and Cecilia. We'll answer that for next week's episode, or I'll just PM you and answer that directly, all right? Guys, sorry for the delay. We're back in action. Expect either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday for that next DBQ Tuesday Ask Your Question Here post. And in the meantime, you can follow us on our Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, on Instagram, on Periscope. We do a lot of really, really rad stuff live on Periscope, unedited, raw, not cut for perfection, real deal stuff. And that is pretty much it. I'll see you guys next week.